Hey guys, my name is Taya and today I'm here to do another Legend of Korra review. Now today's episode was Reunion and I assure you, a bunch of feels were felt. So without further ado, let's get into the review. The episode opens with Naga and Korra reuniting. I already talked about this in my last episode review, but this is the most important reunion. Emotionally, it's the most important. Naga and Korra have this undeniable bond that has been created ever since Korra was little, when she first got Naga, or I guess tamed her. I'm still not clear what's the story on that. And it's something that's just so beautiful to see when reunited. So even though I know later on I'm about to show you some like feelings I had towards certain reunions, but I just want you to know this is to me the most important reunion. Followed by that we have Bumi and Korra's reunion. It was sweet to see Bumi and Korra hug and all that good stuff. The air babies go and tell Tenzin that they found, or they have Korra, and Milo's just, and Tenzin's like, oh, I'm proud of you guys. Milo's just like proud enough to get my tats. Milo is one of my favorites ever. So funny. We see Tenzin and Korra reunite, and I really like the relationship Tenzin and Korra has. I think I've explained this before, but basically Tenzin and Korra have a father-daughter relationship that I think is really cute to see, because Tenzin has watched Korra grow up ever since she was little. He's been helping her mentally and spiritually and everything, and even she acts like a older sister to his own actual kids, so I'm always glad to see Tenzin and Korra together. We see that Korra's feeling down on herself. She's like, oh, I felt like a failure. I'm like, oh, poor baby. Korra is literally adorable with her new haircut. I must say, I just, every time I see her, I'm just like, you're so adorable. Opal mentions that Bolin is missing, and it really upsets me that one, Opal thinks that Bolin is still on Kuvera's side, and two, she thinks he's missing now. Like, Kuvera is such a liar. Why did she have to tell Opal that Bolin was on her side? But the episode cuts and we see Bolin and Varric are traveling together, and Varric mentions that Julie carried him for 20 miles with a sprained ankle. I'm like, wow, that's some real dedication. Bolin and Varric gets caught in the trap, and it was like, oh man. I really thought that they would, I don't know, I thought by the end of the episode they'd be at Republic City, not just getting there. The moment I've been waiting for my whole entire life. Korra saw me. Korra and Asami. Korra saw me. Korra saw me. Lesbians. Korra saw me. Korra saw me. Korra's just like, oh, am I late? And Asami's like, only by 3 years. And I'm like, oh, you guys are so cute. Asami made Korra blush. I'm like, wow. It's been like 10 seconds they've seen each other and already she's blushing. And you know what I thought of? I thought of when Mako complimented her in book 1 and she started blushing because she had deep feelings for Mako. Looks pretty similar. I am actually going to put a clip here. I filmed my reaction to Korrasami reuniting, so insert clip here. Oh my god!
It's so good to see you again. You too. And I'm loving the hair. Thanks.
She blushed. She is blushing. Then we have the Makora reunion, and actually it was a good feeling seeing Mako and Korra together again. I don't ship them, but I do like their friendship. They are friends, and I like seeing them together, so it was cool seeing Mako and Korra together again. So Prince Wu starts hitting on Korra, and Mako gets all snappy like, hey, back up. He tells Korra to go into the Avatar state. At first I thought this was funny, but then I'm like, how insensitive, especially after her trauma with Kuvera, just to tell her to go into the Avatar state to see her eyes glow. That's probably one of the things that scares her the most about the Avatar state. So Sami mentions that, well, hints that Korra, she's been talking to Korra, and then Mako asks what's going on, and I'm like, hashtag busted, undercover lesbians. But yeah, he gets all in his feelings that Korra has been writing to Asami. I'm like, wow, Mako is literally jealous of Asami right now. Can we appreciate that? So Korra and Asami have their very first disagreement. Now, what I like about this is, for one, they sound like a married couple. Two, Asami sounded like she really missed Korra. Like, oh, you weren't there over the past 3 years. It sounded like she really like missed her. And 3, can we notice how like submissive Korra is in this argument? Like we see later on she has a disagreement with Mako, and she's very aggressive in it, but towards Asami she's very submissive and gentle with her feelings, and I just love it because girlfriends. So Prince Wu wants Mako go with him to the bathroom, and Mako says no, and Korra's just like, do you always go with him to the bathroom? And he's just like, I don't want to talk about it, in his dorky little way. Wu goes into the bathroom and gets sprayed with some kind of like chemicals. I don't know what it is because it was red. But he's just like, woo down, woo down. Prince Wu is lovely. So we see Bolin and Varric again, and Varric's still talking about Zhu Li. Like, I really need them together again. But like, Varric needs her. The people, so travelers come to kidnap Bolin and Varric. I forget their names, but the guy sounded like Gazan from season 3, like the lava bending antagonist. And I was like, wow, is he the same voice actor? But I didn't look it up. So Mako goes to check on Wu, and he is missing, obviously, because he got kidnapped. So they go to check on him and stuff. Korra, like, looks to the side and sees the guy, and it's like, hey, that guy looks pretty suspicious, because, you know, he just walked by here, so he must be doing something, right? This guy literally throws Korra up into the ground and lets her fall. Like, I know we've seen a lot of like people crashing into stuff in the Avatar universe, obviously, but for some reason that was really brutal. Like the look on her face when the rock impacted her stomach, like I was like, oh my god, that could have killed her. Asami and Mako runs up, and if you look at the faces on like their facial expressions, you can see Mako looks really like angry for some reason, but then we have concerned girlfriend Asami Sato. No, but Korra tells them to go grab the cars, and I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting that they are actually calling it cars, because, you know, before they called it a Satomobile, and it doesn't seem like they call things like what they are. Like, they call movies movers, and so I was like, oh, they call them cars now. Okay. Just jump into the 21st century, why don't ya? So Korra goes after Wu, and she seems really determined to save him. I feel like she feels like she's been away from her job for too long, and she needs to do something to get her back into it. So Mako starts yelling at Asami like, oh my god, you went the wrong way. And then he starts yelling at Korra like, oh my god, what are you doing? Sit down. I'm like, Mako, chill, bruh. You act like you've never done stuff like this before. So Korra looked totally badass, jumping on top of the car and just metal bending it. Like, ooh. So they interrogate the guy, and they're like, yeah, we work for Kuvira. I say it differently sometimes. And he's just like, all hail the great uniter. I'm like, wow, Kuvira sounds like Hitler, like, a lot. Mako's just like, the first time I don't watch him pee, and he gets kidnapped. Mako's just hilarious in this video. Dorky Mako, as usual. It was really cool to see Korra using Toph's lesson on everything is connected to find Wu, and she, you know, like put her hand on the vines and felt his spiritual connection to her. So we see that the people want to use Bolin and Varric to get away to the checkpoint, and Bolin just whips out his lava bending because, you know, they can't go to the checkpoint or else they'll be noticed. And so he just was like, bam, nope. And that guy, hella quickly, he was like, okay man, we're on your side now. When Korra was telling Mako and Asami about Toph, she's just like, yeah, she's a cranky, more miserable version than Lin. I'm like, yeah, pretty accurate. We have the scene where Bolin and Varric and the travelers are passing through the security, and I don't know why, but even in the last Airbender series, I always liked it when, like, the fugitives, like the good guys, the main characters, the fugitives, are passing through security. I don't know, I like the little stealthiness of it, I guess. Varric, of course, weasels their way out of the situation, because that's what he's good at. And the guy, unfortunately, notices their mugshots. Busted. So we have the first full-on technology versus bending fight. It was actually pretty cool to see, and I don't really know who had who in the end, because had the fight kept going and Varric didn't interfere, I do not think Bolin would have just surrendered that easily. I think he would have whipped out some type of lava bending move, because we saw in Battle of Zaofu that the Mega Tanks are very, very vulnerable to lava. So I think that he would have found a way to do something with that. Bolin goes back for the travelers, and I feel like he thinks it's his duty now to help any people of the Earth Kingdom because of how much misery he's brought upon it, thinking that it was good, but it wasn't. So Korra senses Wu's spirit through the train, and they go to get on the train. And I noticed that Korra only helped Asami on there and let Mako fend for himself get on that train. So Mako starts yelling at Korra for basically no reason. I'm like, Mako, chill. Like, what is he on about? Korra is the one. If Korra wasn't there and let's say Asami, him, and Wu went to the dinner, Wu would have been to Kavira. So, yeah. Because of Mako's ridiculous whining, some bad people overheard them and saw them coming into the train and decided to follow them. And when they found Wu, they attacked Team Avatar minus Bolin. And what I like about this fight is it shows that Korra is still the badass Avatar we know. Like, a lot of people were so disappointed how she fought with Kuvira. It's because she sees Kuvira as another version of herself. She can't kill herself. And that's why she is so, like, distressed about defeating Kuvira versus just some random henchman. She can deal with those easily. So the fight moves to on top of the train, and instantly, like, Mako falls like an idiot when he tries to bend against them. And then we have Asami being the assassin that she's always meant to be. And Korra makes for a speedy getaway, like, bends up a air storm, and they jump off the train. Now, what I like about this is if you've noticed, Korra grabs Asami and jumps, and I'm like, yup, you already know. So everyone apologizes for the rough day they had, and Asami's like, yeah, I'm getting on each other's nerves and stuff like that, and Mako's just like, oh, well, that's normal for me and Korra, and Korra's just like, girl, I see you with those eyes. She looks like one of those emojis. So they go in for the Team Avatar hug, and Asami's the only hugged Korra. She didn't hug Mako, she didn't hug Wu, she hugged Korra. Well, no one hugged Wu, but she hugged Korra, like, directly. Mako's concerned for Wu's well-being, so they decide to put him in Asami's house, which I found, like, really cool that Asami let Mako's family stay there. It just shows that they've been growing strong these 3 years. I like Masami as friends. I think it's cool. They're good, like, bro friends. It cuts to the scene where Bolin and Varric are saying goodbye to their travelers, and Bolin apologizes on the behalf of Kuvira and her whole entire army, and I felt really bad because Bolin genuinely thought that he was doing good, and it just sucks to see that he realized what he was doing was horrible. But in the end, they actually go with the travelers on their way to Republic City, which I'm glad, because I do not want Mako to find out his little brother is dead. I feel like if he does, though, he's gonna start crying. We'll finally see those Mako tears. And then we have the last scene where Kuvira and frickin' Batar Jr., I hate him, they are messing with the swamp. And I just, why? Okay, so that is it for the actual review, but as always, predictions time. So, I predict one of two things. One being that Toph is going to show up and literally kick everyone's butt and force them into retreat. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking of one of three things, actually. I either think that, or they'll end up capturing Toph, which it will take a lot, but I think they might end up capturing her because Toph is amazing, don't get me wrong. But did you see all those airships at the end? I'm not sure if she can handle all of that in her old age. Maybe even in her prime, but she's getting old and she does have aches because if you remember when she was trying to bend the metal poison out of Korra the first time. She was cracking her neck and stuff like that, so I'm sure her body is aching in some way, shape, or form. And my third thing being is, you remember how the swamp actually, did I just hold up before like Oprah?
When I've seen the film now twice.
You remember how the swamp actually protects itself? If you remember from the last Airbender series when Sokka was swinging his sword trying to cut down some vines and the swamp protected itself. I think that might happen because the swamp is like, nope, back up. Stop taking my vines. Kuvira's like, do it for the vine, and Swamp's like, I ain't gonna do it. And my final theory, this isn't a theory for next episode per se, but this is just a theory in general, I guess. So I'm gonna read you something I wrote on Tumblr. Okay, so you remember how in book 2 of Legend of Korra, that when it explained that Vaatu and Rava can't exist without each other? If that's so, then with the development of the new super weapon, that means that Vaatu's dark energy still is here, but without light, there could be no darkness, right? You see where I'm going with this? One cannot exist without the other, which means that Rava is still with Korra. Whether Korra realizes or not, she must still be one with Rava, or else the dark energy wouldn't be able to exist. Kind of like yin and yang. Yin equals dark and yang equals light. If you remember from the first book of the last Airbender series, they keep each other balanced, as does Vaatu and Rava. And so I think that Korra still has a connection to Rava in her past lives, because there wouldn't be a dark energy source like Vaatu's unless Rava exists. So that's something to look forward to. It's just a theory though, but I think I have a good point with this one. So yeah, long review, a lot happened, much Korrasami, much gay stuff, much Makora. I did enjoy the Makora part, so I mean, if you're a Makora shipper watching this, don't freak out. I'm not putting down anything. I just got into the longest argument on Tumblr about Makora, and it was so ridiculous. Ugh. Anyways, I'm gonna stop here. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Possibly check out my other reviews if you haven't seen them, or any of my other videos in general. I make videos on me personally if you are interested in that kind of thing. So, yeah. Make sure to check out the links down below to my YouNow, Tumblr, and Twitter. Especially if you're a Korrasami fan, because I've been blogging about Korrasami for the past like 5 hours, so you don't want to miss that. It was a very heavy ship-oriented episode, so not like a bunch of action like the last episode. So yeah, lots of shipping, lots of love. Yeah, check out the links down below and all that good stuff, and other than that, I'll see you later, alligator.